Hello there, it's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee. Okay, now, yeah, I know I make a lot of pin cushions, and because they're kind of cute, they really are, but my pins are now getting blunt because I've sort of cheated and done them on this stuffing, really. So today, what I'm going to do is, and I'm making it out of scraps, but you need good close weaved fabric, okay? Yeah, I'm putting a layer of wadding down. This is just so that I don't have problems with my steel wool. Now, steel wool will actually sharpen the pins when you use them, but you know, you can kind of get splinters from it. Now, this is just a standard one from Morrison's. It's a saver one. 9 for 44p, or it could have been 12 for 44p. Yeah, and I've washed out the soap from it. So, but you know, even though these shouldn't really go through your skin, they still feel a bit spiky and it's all a bit horrid. So what I'm doing now is, with my craft scissors, I am cutting it. I have washed the soap out and it's fully dry. There's no reason not to use these, okay? It sharpens your scissors. It's going to sharpen your pins. But, you know, one thing I am going to do is, when I've done this, I'm then going to give my hands a really good rinse. And that is just in case there is any sort of small metal filings. Okay, so all I've done is I've made a ball. I had a triangle of fabric, I lined it with wadding, and now I'm scrunching it all up. So I have a needle and thread, and all I'm going to do is pick up these corners. Yeah, so nice and easy. In fact, I am actually going to give myself a bit more thread than that. I saw it in there, and normally I leave a threaded needle before I start, so I didn't check it, so my bad. Okay, so what I'm going to make in the end is not just a pin cushion that's going to sharpen my pins, but I'm going to make a sort of scrunchy wristband pin thing, so that it's always there and I can just leave it on my wrist, and then if I need a pin, I've got a pin. So, yeah. But don't forget, you know, nice vacuum clean afterwards, and yeah. I'm going to give my hands a good rinse, because although, yeah, it's just not worth it, is it, really? In a couple of days and I've got an irritation and I'm wondering where I've got it from, and then yeah. So yeah, I don't suppose you really need to see me do this. All I'm doing is picking up every little bit that sticks out, pulling it to the centre. When I get to a bit that I can fold under, then I will. So yeah, so these bits, I'm going to take the top corner and then bring it in. But you do need closely knitted fabric for this, you really do, you know. So it just makes life just a little bit easier. But with the use of the wadding as well, then we're sort of protecting any splinters coming through. So well, there we go. So I'm going to leave that with the needle still in. I'm just going to leave that on the side, and yeah. So I have a strip of fabric here, and I have a strip of elastic. Now what I want is is the elastic to be long enough so that it goes around my wrist but not tightly. So I'm going to use my wrist as a model because it doesn't mind, and then I am going to sew it on here as much stretch as I can. So I'm not going to cut this. You can see it's quite long. I don't know what I used it for, but I definitely used it for something. And I'm going to sew with the sewing machine. So here we go. First things first, I'm going to sew the elastic onto the fold of the thread. So all this is a tube 4 inches long, couple of stitches, place the elastic on the sewing line, and then when it's started sewing, a good couple of reverse stitches. So make sure I'm sewing both bits of fabric, and I'm going to allow the sewing machine to sew the tartan, and I'm going to pull this all the way out as far as it will go. So you can see why I didn't bother to cut this length to size. You know, I think it was the last strip of a waistband of a kilt. So there we go. I'm going to get rid of that. That's just the old bit. There we are. A couple of reverse stitches. And now I'm going to trim. So if I need to do more than one, then I've still got that there. I'm going to turn this inside out. Which is so easy. Oh. Yeah, there's no way I can speed this up. There we are. Now, what I'm going to do is just with my fingers, I'm turning this inside out so that it's got a little hemmy bit, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to place that inside there. I know we can make a proper scrunchie, but we haven't. And with my donutty thing and my bit of thread, I'm going to use that thread just to stitch this up. So and I'm going to pop in a few more stitches just to keep it all nice and tight. I think actually I might treat myself to some more thread again. I know, I'm not very generous with myself today, am I? There we go. But you can see where I'm going with this. So yes, wash your hands, make sure that you tidy up all your little bits of steel wool, and yes, that will keep your pins sharp. If you can, or if you prefer, you can also use walnut shells crushed, and they will do the same job. Obviously they were a bit kinder to make. I don't know, could you sit in the garden after Christmas Day, crush a couple of walnuts? Maybe that's what we'll do. I'm sure nobody in the family will mind. They're all immune to me. So yes, and I'm just picking up a few more, and pulling in all these loose ends. the tighter this is, the better for the actual pin cushion. There we go. Maybe a few more round here. And then I'm pushing in any loose ends that I can see. And I'm just going to seal this off with a knot. I know, I could have put my pin in there. But there we go. So yes, not too much trauma at all. And yeah, easy to hand. Alright, thank you so much for watching. My name's Fiona from Weekly Sewing. Please like, subscribe and share. Thank you.